Hello, everyone. I'm talking very slowly because I'm making sure everything is working properly.
We're blinking.
Yep. You all look good. Sound is good. Yeah? Good. Yeah. I see talking. I see colors. Nice. Good. I'm pleased by this. All right. Welcome. It's been a while. I think about 6 months since I ran a session of anything in Eldarth. And I've missed it. And I will admit that during this time away, I struggled a bit to get back into it. Things got a little weird and difficult and sad. But I think I did the amount of work I was expected to do in those several months in like 2 weeks. And it was all because of the campaign and wanting to get it done, and also because I have great friends who supported me along the way. So to that, cheers. So things have changed since the last time I ran a game. We moved from Roll20 to Foundry, which if anyone knows about it, there's a lot of feature-rich modules you can take in from community developers. So things are going to be different, but it also means that we're all going to be collectively learning, including myself, how some things work. Certain interactions. I definitely dove in way over my head with quite a bit of like map complexity. So if someone gets stuck on the wrong level occasionally, we're going to have to fix it, and that's okay. But it's a learning curve, and hopefully, if we're learning, you can learn something about it too. Yeah. I'm looking forward to running this campaign for a good while. I don't know if it'll reach 200 sessions like Convergence did, but we'll see. Either way, I'm excited to go on this little adventure with all these lovely people here. Some of which are familiar faces. Some of which, cough, one of them is new. No pressure on that person whatsoever. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just sort of, now that I'm here, it's just, what do you do? And I guess when there's no better answer to that, we're just going to start the session.
You can't even ask us for a recap to Vamp or anything.
I can't. No recap. Yeah. First session. We're just going in. And that's okay. It's good. All right. This new campaign, as dubbed Reclamation, is set in a time frame about 85, 90 years into the future from the events in which Convergence came to a close. During that time, many things have changed. The Primal Wilds and the Home Plane were merged into one. Many of the Fey beings from the Primal Wilds had to make a choice, and they either came here with their physical forms but lost their eternal lifespans, or they became spirits and became bound to a powerful elemental natural place referred to as a court, in homage to the original Fey courts. But more than that happened, the four archons, the beings responsible for the Primal Wilds and keeping that energy in check, also descended onto the home plane of Eldarth, now just referred to as Eldarth, and created a new form of power and balance in the world, in that all natural things, representative by the archons themselves, so the wind, the water, the fire, earth, grass, growth, life, and vitality of all things natural, are governed by their existence. They are essentially a natural law, quite literally natural, emphasis on the natural, that sustains things. It is very difficult for a famine or blight to really take hold while this power exists. It requires someone to actively do something. It will no longer just be a sad turn of nature. Nature will now always thrive. Trees that used to take years to provide shade or food can take months. It has been changing the landscape of the world as many people know it. But there are so many other things that happened, and I could go into all of them, but we probably wouldn't actually get to anything the players would do, which I think is a travesty. So the good news is Reclamation starts on a very low scale. We're doing a thing that you hear people talk about, and it doesn't always work out, and I'm hoping it does this time. We're kind of doing a level 0, where everyone is a villager, with the exception of one whose character has lived a bit more of a fuller life and has some experience to bring along with him. But in that, it limits what they know about the broader world. They hear things secondhand through merchants and travelers and adventurers that pass by in their small village of Greenwood. And so they're going to have an opportunity to grow I would say, in a much greater sense. And perhaps I'm blowing this all out of proportion, but we'll see. That's kind of the fun. So, welcome to Greenwood. Players, hi. How are you?
Doing good.
Yeah?
Hi.
Yeah?
I'm nervous.
Not internally screaming like me?
Great.
I have externally screamed. Does that
Yeah, actually. Thank you for muting. I appreciate that.
I spent
pass the mantle?
that entire intro watching the stream, staring at our characters blink at us.
And was it weird, or was it like a good thing? You tell me.
It was kind of mesmerizing.
Yeah? Okay, good. See? Positive.
I actually really love it. I think it's really cool. The production value is awesome. I'm loving this stream.
Which is to say, kudos to Quinn, who did a majority of the animation, and to Zhao, who did his own. So that's thanks to you two. So appreciate it. It looks good. Looks amazing. All right. Well, allow me to. We have to set some variables, because I wanted today to be the least scripted possible, which is sort of silly when I'm about to say which is I rolled several dice to determine various things for the first session, such as the time of day. Currently, and allow me to actually adjust the clock, it is 7 p.m., the end of the day. The sun is on its way down. It's been somewhat cold lately. You're just sort of coming out of the end of the winter season. But you've recently been receiving just nonstop rain, totally not inspired by my real life circumstances. Hilarious. I actually did roll dice for this and just happened to be very similar. So where there once was snow piled on walkways and in between homes, it has been all washed away by an unrelenting, persistent rainstorm. It isn't enough to stop any of the Greenwood citizens from going out to perform their regular duties or standing watch. Everything is made to accommodate this sort of weather, given this is very common. Greenwood is a very, very damp climate, often with a pretty stiff, chilly breeze. Even so, the summers are pretty temperate compared to a lot of other places in the world. So, 7 p.m., it's raining. There are clouds in the sky, enough to provide you with this lovely light rain shower. Again, not enough to really be a nuisance. So the important thing is, I now have to ask of all of you who've had an opportunity to spend some time getting to know your characters over the last several months, during this time of the day, what is each of your characters doing? And I'm going to start with Zhao. What's Corona up to?
Well, I think that with her being part of the volunteer militia group of the town, at this point she'd probably still be probably at around maybe the tail end of like her shift.
Okay.
You know, just kind of patrolling town before she heads home to do whatever little bits of farm work need doing before the end of the day.
Okay.
Pretty simple life.
Is Corona a gate guard kind of person? the one that requires the back and forth with the occasional merchants that come through, or is she one to sort of just walk the wall and keep an eye on the wider surroundings?
I think she's one to walk the wall because one thing she really dislikes is, staying in one place.
Hmm?
She hates monotony, so
Okay.
she'd rather patrol actively.
All right. Do you want to pick a location for where Corona is currently on the exterior wall, or would you rather roll?
I'll roll.
Okay. Roll a d8. North, northeast, east, southeast, etc., and so on and so forth.
Let's see. 3.
All right. So we're going straight east. So put yourself somewhere over yonder.
Okay.
Here. Yeah. Hang on. Let me just.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
It'll be
don't.
easier for you. I think.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. I'm not bound by movement restrictions.
Corona just went through 3 houses.
There you go. And now you should be able to move a bit more freely anyway.
Perfect.
Um,
Thank you.
Yeah, so anywhere between here and the southernmost most corner, you can just put Corona somewhere up on the wall.
Okay.
And that'll be where Corona is currently patrolling. Do you need help getting on the wall?
Oh.
There you go.
There we go. We'll say she's right there.
Okay. All right. Corona is off doing her duty, having been given her shift of, the militia patrol for tonight. Next in the list is Lilith. What is Lilith up to?
Considering the time of night and her unique abilities as an elf, and her penchant for staying up all night anyway, I think right now is probably about the start of her shift at the tavern.
All right. Which is important to note, because I feel like I never actually noted it anywhere, because it was one of those things that slipped between the cracks when I did a stream about it, the map building for Greenwood a while ago. The tavern's name is the Moonshine Tavern, so named after the lake to the south, referred to as the Moondrop Lake. It is a play on words, and there is in fact a moonshiner in Greenwood, so it just works. It works out. Okay, so you're starting your shift. Valman, one of the other fellow Greenwood villagers, a gnome, is currently finishing up his shift. You're coming to relieve him. Greenwood is not a busy place in terms of like actual commercial business that comes through the tavern. But it is not unlikely for the occasional villager to come here to stop for dinner or a meal in general, or just to warm up out of the rain after, say, walking the palisade walls for several hours on guard shift, or having come from the craftsman's plateau to the east of the village where the craftsmen work, just to rest or recuperate or eat. Tonight is a day in which you have two visitors that are familiar faces. The Shalseer officers that patrol this area of Azale, Rorkin and Brynrasa. They're basically policemen that are afforded authority by one of the protector dragons, the Copper Protector Dragon. And their job is just peacekeeping. They travel the roads as a pair to help people in need, or to stop bandit muggings or marauders, or even exterminate animals that perhaps might be a threat to people traveling on the roads. Things like that. They stop in the Greenwood occasionally to catch up and make sure everything's going well. They are longtime visitors of about a decade or so, given that's roughly when they've been assigned to the area. Okay, that is where Lilith is. Next, Melody. What's Melody up to?
Melody's probably either running some errands for her parents. If they've relieved her for the night, she might be just on her way home from her last one. and might be helping get the younger ones in bed. I think is where she'd be. Once she gets them settled, she'd head over to the tavern, but I think she's going to be getting her siblings in bed.
Okay. All right. Let's go throw you upstairs. In your family abode, wherein I feel like it is important for many people to understand Melody does not have a small family. How many siblings do you currently have living at home, Melody?
I have to go count. Melody's the middle of 12, so 2, 3,
Well, I think
4,
2
5.
moved away, so you would have 10.
So there's actually 7. 6 in the home. 2 have moved away. One of them is living in the what was the place called? The community home.
The share house. Yeah.
Shared house. Yeah. And then the rest have moved away. So there's 6 in the house,
Including Melody.
and including Melody. And Aladad's in the share house.
Yeah. Which is important to note. The share house over yonder, just for the sake of highlighting, is basically a house of it's what it sounds like. It's a large communal living space where everyone has a single room with a bed and niceties, and there's a small little living space to sort of communally get together and hang out or play games. And it is where a lot of single individuals in Greenwood stay and live, where they don't have the need for a full home. Or is also a place where frequent visitors or friends of the village can also easily acquire a place to stay. Okay. Next up is Roz. What's Roswin up to?
Opposite Lilith, who is starting her shift, Roswin, more of a day laborer, has ended her shift within the last hour or two. So I think that she knows that her friend's shift is going to be starting and it's time to go drink. So she's going to be on her way from her home to the tavern.
Okay. And how far along do you think she is getting there?
I think she just got out.
Okay, so you're a good distance away. All right, I'm just going to shoot you on over there. Don't be alarmed. You're going to be all the way over here. Just leaving your home. Did you leave any lights on when you left? Are there other people home?
Oh, there's definitely other people home.
Okay.
I imagine that dinner just ended.
Okay. It's going to turn some of the lights on in the house, so that people aren't just sitting in the dark. Okay. Roswin is on her way after having finished some very, very challenging, tough, exhausting work as a logger and woodsman. Woodswoman? Is there a neutral version of that?
Woodcutter.
Woodcutter. Right, hey, it's in the name. I think I'd pay attention to that. Anyway. Last but not least, Titan. What is Titan up to? Where is he?
It's okay. Titan can be least. I think, the weather's warming up. He's probably not actually, and the rain's washing away snow. He's probably not actually dealing with very many injuries or illnesses. He's probably long ago been finished with his doctor work and finished driving Lotus, his wife, crazy. So she's probably kicked him out and sent him to the tavern to blow off some steam. So I think he's probably in the tavern, probably about 3 or 4 drinks deep. Starting to, not enough to be drunk, but enough to start giving the coppers a hard time.
Mm-hmm.
As he is wont to do.
Okay. Now, just for everyone's own reference, in the same order in which I placed all of you, would you just give us a brief description about your character? You could do a little bit of history and a little bit of physical if you'd like. Starting with Zhao.
Sure. Corona is a human woman, in her early 30s. She's got copper orange, like shoulder length hair. Um, and at heart, she's a farm girl. Her parents have owned a farm here in Greenwood for a while, and when she was growing up, she used to work quite a bit on it. But after uh, an event that happened, she kind of decided to have a career change. And she'd still be helping out on the farm before and after her shifts end, but now she's a guardswoman. And she basically just she keeps to herself. There's not that many people that are exactly around her age, and she's probably known to be grouchy by a lot of people. But she's not a bad person. She's just a little gruff. She's got a gruff exterior.
Okay, thank you. Next, Lilith.
Oh boy, how do I describe this character? Lilith is a short, kind of petite elven woman, very young by elven standards. Still an adult, obviously, but not much older than most of the other characters, and younger than half of them. But she's got very long, dark blue hair, usually tied back in a ponytail, pale skin, kind of cloudy blue eyes, and a smattering of star-like freckles that kind of go across her face. Very short, compact, easy to carry elf. As far as personality-wise, she's kind of a bookworm, likes to read things, and just generally enjoys good company and sometimes just shutting herself away to read a book.
All right, very good, thank you. Melody, if you'd be so kind.
As to describe Melody.
Yes.
I mean, Melody's a gnomon. She's a half gnome, half human. Her Ma's from Harbor, her dad's from Izel. And I'm gonna get so many location names wrong because I'm not used to this continent. So there's that.
That goes for everybody, including me.
And I know I wrote down her height somewhere. You'd think I'd have my character sheet up. Boy, that's a problem. But she's just shy of 5 feet, just over 5 feet. She's kind of short, especially compared to some of the company she keeps. She's she's got red, orange, auburn hair. Gets it from her mom. Although it could be dyed, considering her gnome family. You never know. But she basically she helps her family with the general store. People come in. She loves stories. She loves talking to them. She loves hearing everything they have to say. But she's a bit feared of her own voice, so she doesn't always have things to say. But she's very interested in hearing the people speak. So that's our lovely Melody, also known as Audie, because she's a bit odd.
And I feel like I have to mention before we go on to Sam and Roz, I feel like a lot of you are actually quite short, with the exception of Titan, who is the exact opposite.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Oh, I always thought Roz was way taller than Audie.
I thought you all. I thought everybody was a bunch of. I thought you were all a bunch of shorties.
If I'm remembering
comparison in the Discord.
We do.
If I'm remembering correctly, Melody and Roz were 5'4", and Lilith is 5'2".
Well, never mind.
Yeah, Corona's 5'8".
Oh, okay. No, we got a little signal bar.
Sam,
Yeah. It's good. It's good. And you know when the signal's really good is when you hit 5 because that's Titan and it's taller than everyone else by like a sum of 40%.
We mapped the satellite on top of Titan's head.
Yep.
well then, surprisingly, the Gnomon is not the shortest in the group.
Surprise. Okay, just wanted to clarify that. I was like, wait a second, I was pretty sure a lot of people were really short. Okay, Sam, tell us a bit about Roz.
Are we doing the voices? Are we doing the voices?
I
today?
Well, I mean,
Kay started it.
if you're feeling it, there's no problem in that. I'm trying to
Carissa
get
can do
used
the
to it.
voice. It's a very similar accent and all.
It's good practice.
So, Roswin is, as we mentioned, 5'4". She is far too small to be doing the job that she's doing, and she's too stubborn to stop. She's human, blonde, blue-eyed, very, very standard looking, sort of what you'd expect for coming out of her family. They all kind of look the same for the most part. Short, blonde, kind of stocky, but not large enough to be doing the jobs they're doing. She has been doing this job for a few years now, basically since her dad moved away into the grave. I suppose I could just say he died. I'm nervous. Let me live. But when her dad died, she started cutting wood to try to help out around Greenwood as much as she could. Now she is stubborn, pig-headed, determined, and has not quite delusions of glory, but definitely thinks that she can be more than a villager living in a backwater town.
Boy, do I have good news for Roz.
Do you? I feel like it's not good.
You're no longer going to be a villager living in the backwater. Yeah.
Oh, the monkey's paw. A finger curls.
I can't
Anybody-
believe this is all Roz's fault.
Oh, shoot.
Wishing on those stars.
And Ben, tell us some interesting factoids about Titan.
All right. Before I tell interesting factoids about Titan, great job on the accents, all of you. Beautiful. Loving it.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really like that. Looking forward to more. Titan. He grew up a little rough. His dad was a pit fighter. His mom was a stay-at-home mom, but they were, they weren't rich. They lived in more of a slummy area. And he kind of lived that life until he got an opportunity to study at the prestigious school of Mythlite and become a doctor. While at Mythlite, he met his better half and the tempering influence of his wife Lotus. And she convinced him that the big city life was not where he needed to be to work more on his thesis, his magnum opus work, as he's finished Mythlite and studied up more on what he needs to complete that course. And so they moved out and found the lovely little Greenwood. They have been here for some time, around 50 years. Between 40 and 50 years. And he's a hard drinking, hard fighting, fun loving guy who sees most of the residents of Greenwood as his nieces and nephews. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and height, he's 7'1". He's a big guy. He is a white dragon eye, though he does have a touch of blue dragon eye in him, which gives him a more icy appearance. Yeah.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you, one and all. Do you feel the non-existent clock ticking as we're getting through each thing?
Time for you to describe every village.
You would want me to, wouldn't you?
I honestly would, but not because I am not looking forward to the session.
That's fair. Well, I won't. But I will say, citizens of Greenwood are quite varied. There is no one predominant race. It was started when a retired Toffman, a half-human, half-Tophakari elf, found a really beautiful overlook near a lake and decided to stay there. He built a cabin for himself, and one day someone else showed up asking for refuge, to which he gladly provided it, and they decided that they wanted to stay. And so the story goes, it kept happening. And every subsequent person that passed through and decided to stay, Greenwood grew by one until eventually it grew to the size it is today. Just over 200 some odd people in its total population. Greenwood is self-sufficient. It has farmlands to the west, a plateau of flattened rock to the east, where forges have been built, tanners have set up. Everything that is needed here in the village is made by the people that live here. Everything is provided to one another as needed. There is no internal trade or exchange of currency. If people are in need of money, the aforementioned Toffman, Fazil, now quite advanced in his half-elven age, provides money as necessary to anyone who requires it, and does so pretty generously. No one knows how much money he has, and people just assume, well, of course, it's just, the equivalent of what the village is making based off of the services when merchants pass through. But there have been instances where there's been way more money that he's provided that people don't quite understand where it comes from or how he has that much. But he's never questioned someone in need or help in Greenwood. He is by proxy the mayor, and that he never won the role in election or ever wanted it, but everyone, with his being the original founder of the location, just sort of gave him the title. But he does right by everyone here. He, like many others, come from a background where their skills are not as often used anymore, as is often with many types that are guardsmen or adventurers or soldiers, or even a couple of somewhat more secretive backgrounds that are not often talked about, but everyone knows, at least, that you shouldn't ask about it. And others are just people from trades that have decided to move away from the bustling life of the city to live in someplace quiet, where the demand for their work is not nonstop and just enough to keep everyone living and happy. And as such, many generations have been born here. Greenwood is closing in on its 100th year. And for it, the village has grown and become very stable and happy and wanting for naught. It is a beautiful place, tucked away from any significant major city, and is only visited occasionally by merchants and caravans that need a stop before they cross through the last major passage through the Titanhorns mountain range to the east, going towards the gnomish capital city of Gensbast. And so it's quiet, it's comfortable. People that live here don't complain, although, as perhaps explained, maybe some people want a little bit more of an exciting life. And is sometimes the case. Many children, when they've reached coming of age, have decided to travel and go pursue their dreams. And with a small sack of silver provided by the village and goods and food, enough to get them to the next major city, they have gone about their way to go make names of their own. And maybe one day they'll come back to Greenwood. Totally not, foreshadowing anything. So, everyone's in place. We're all pretty well informed about Greenwood now. We know about the characters. We all know the players are internally screaming. Externally, again, thank you for muting so diligently.
Push to talk is a wonderful tool.
It really is. In which case, we're going to start over at the eastern side of the village, where Corona has been dutifully walking her patrol along the eastern, raised platform attached to the palisade wall. Greenwood is a pretty sleepy place. While it does have an occasional altercation with bandits or the somewhat full of themselves merchant or their guards, not too much happens. But in the last couple of years, about the last decade or so, there have been a couple of somewhat severe bandit attacks, and thus the 20-foot tall palisade wall has been erected to protect the heart of the village. So, Corona, you don't expect much to happen. And as much as with many other nights, nothing is going on other than this somewhat light, almost kind of miserable drizzle that you're probably used to.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think she's. I can't speak for all the other villagers, of course, all the other people in the militia, but she's probably maybe just like, despite it not being years that something has happened, I think she's still maybe just like a touch more diligent. Um, she's always uptight. She's got this like pent up energy, and what better way to use it up than on the job.
Mm-hmm.
So she's even if she doesn't expect anything, she is being diligent enough to kind of keep an eye out on things.
Good. Let's give Corona probably a torch that she's likely carrying around with her.
Oh yeah.
So you can see a little. That being said, I would like for you to make the first D20 roll of the campaign. Please make a perception check for me.
Ooh, okay. Let's see. There we go. Normal, I assume, right?
Yep.
Okay. Let's see.
Ooh.
Not
Strong
bad.
start.
Yeah.
Modified 20. So, Corona, you've been out here for the most part of your shift. Again, Greenwood is sleepy. Not much happens. You will occasionally see the odd critter walk by. You've probably at least given the firm acknowledging nod to a couple of the tradesmen coming back in off of the plateau, having finished working for the day. But with your torchlight looking over the wall, it's brief, but you see something catch the light of the torch. It's somewhat near the wall, probably only about 30 feet away, but it moves over the stone so rapidly and out of sight again that you weren't really sure what it was.
I think she's going to try and maybe like take a few steps in one direction or the other, just to like change her angle up and see if like the torchlight might reveal something, or if her eyes are just playing tricks on her.
Okay. Just make me a second perception check then.
Sure. Okay. Watch this one. Oh, okay.
Still not bad.
I was thinking, yeah.
You look over the edge, trying to extend your vision a bit, changing your perspective some, and you still don't see anything. However, because the sound of the rain is so consistent, and you're so used to the sound of rain here in Greenwood, there is something else that you hear that doesn't quite fit into the environment. They are these small sounds of something creating like a snicking sound on the stone. And it's small and rapid and repetitive, and then it stops.
And okay. You said sneaking sounds?
Snicking.
Oh, snicking.
Snicking, yeah.
Okay. And the outer on the stone, she doesn't see anything within her vision, correct?
Nope.
Okay. I think she's going to. I assume that maybe the all the like guardsmen would probably have like I don't know, like an alert, something to alert.
So
Right?
you are right. At each of the outposts attached to the wall, there are two forms of communication for the village and for other guardsmen. Between the guardsmen, there is a shuttered lantern that has a gnomish flicker light in it, which is a perpetually glowing stone. And it's shuttered. And you basically have a series of, Morse code that you use to communicate between the other guardsmen to report things, maybe just to tell someone else, hey, I saw something weird, go check it out. Again, obviously the Morse is shorter than that. And there is a bell, of which the ringer can be adjusted to put out a different pitch, which will alert upon a different type of scenario. Of which there are ones for, roving band of wild animals, ones for bandit attacks and things, and then other ones that are essentially like retreat to your home, lock your doors, wait for the all clear, things like that.
DEFCON 1.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, more or less.
All right. In that case, I think she's going to keep her eye on where she heard that as she makes her way towards one of those posts. Eventually, I'm sure the torchlight's not going to be enough to cover her, but once she's close enough, she's going to get to the post, and I think she's going to morse for someone to kind of check out that area if they can. Just get another set of eyes.
Okay.
No need to raise the alarm just yet.
So you're essentially asking someone to go check it out.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you'll arrive at the guard post. You will signal, to which you will kind of watch all the other the gnomish flicker lights around send out an acknowledgement signal, so it will be then communicated for someone to go out to go look at it.
Okay. And once that's done, I think she's just going to make her way over to where she heard it and just keep an eye on things until someone gets there.
Yeah. Okay. For what it was worth, you do know it was moving from north to south.
Okay. She'll do her best to kind of like track it as best as she can, but it sounds like it's a little tough. So she's just kind of maintaining her patrol, focusing on that.
Yeah. Okay. Moving a little further south to a nearby player, Roswin. You've just left your home. Dinner's finished up. It's the end of the day, and Lilith's shift is starting at the Moonshine Tavern. So you're going to go make your way over there. I would likewise ask of you if you could make a perception check for me.
And we're allowed to roll physical dice, correct?
Mm-hmm. You are allowed to roll physical dice. I trust everyone here.
13.
13. Okay. You've stepped out of the front of your abode. You've turned onto the appropriate road, and you're beginning heading north. But somewhere behind you, you hear something rustle in the high grass. Because Greenwood's covered in this, thick wild grass that just blooms with flowers quite regularly, which is actually beginning to start, considering you're moving out of the winter season into the spring season. And you just hear rustling behind you. Could have been a snake or a squirrel moving along. Just something caught your attention.
Well, naturally, I want to see what it was.
Okay. Well, it was to your south. Somewhere near this northeastern home over here. Do me a favor, make an investigation check.
11.
11. You step out into the grass. You look through the area, kind of kicked your boot through some of the denser growth. You don't see anything, but you do hear something kind of move rapidly through the grass where you're at towards the palisade wall to the east. Like you spooked something and it ran off.
All right. Well, I'm going to assume it was a small animal of some kind. Maybe somebody's cat.
Possible.
Oh, shit. Somebody lose their fuck. Come here. Not going to hurt you. Just going after it.
Would you like to make an animal handling check to see if you can't coax the animal towards you?
Well, I suppose if it is an animal, I'm trying.
One way to find out.
5.
Despite your attempts, nothing seems to reveal itself or crawl out of the undergrowth, and you don't hear any more noises. You think it might have just skittered off somewhere.
Well, I guess I have no reason to go chasing after what could just be a squirrel when my human eyes see nothing.
Mm-hmm. It is quite dark.
Well, back on the road toward the tavern it is.
Okay. Why don't you advance yourself like, I don't know, 100 feet or so. There you go. Moving along. Probably catch sight of, Corona patrolling on the eastern wall from your elevated position.
How much further am I allowed to go before bad things happen?
I'll tell you to stop if you want to keep running around. A lot of people have returned home. You can hear families talking and the sounds of dinnerware clinking and clattering as they're clearly cleaning up. You see an occasional family through their windows with the curtains drawn back. You can tell off in the distance there are a couple of people returning to the share house. Some of them sort of loitering outside just under the overhang of the roof, talking amongst themselves. See a couple of people entering into the shower house, and some leaving.
All the peaceful talk just makes me more nervous. I know something's going to happen.
Wait, this isn't a slice of life campaign?
Oh, who gave you that idea?
That's fair. At the intersection, Roz, due to the tree's luminance, you do see a familiar face sitting on the stone bench surrounding the tree. Fazil is currently just out tending to the rare herb garden that surrounds the tree, as he is often wont to do towards the tail ends of the day.
So this is a normal behavior for him.
Perfectly normal behavior.
Well, I will shout good evening to him. Good evening.
You'll see him crawl backwards a little bit out of the area where he was currently weeding a bit, and he'll straighten himself up, although he always has a slight hunch in his back, and he will turn and he will give you a wave. Fazil's not a loud talker normally, so he doesn't often shout either. Onwards to the tavern?
Onwards to the tavern.
Okay. And you should stop there.
Okay.
Yeah. You're making your way, but elsewhere, mostly inside the tavern, we have someone fiddling with my trapdoor, and Titan, and Lilith, and the Coppers, and Balman, who got shoved under the door in a very hilarious comical fashion. I don't know how that happened, but it happened.
I was wondering where he went.
So, inside the Moonshine Tavern, after a long day for some, it is quiet. The gnomish player piano in the southern corner is playing a quiet but upbeat little ditty that someone could dance to if they wanted. Rorkin and Bryn Rasa are currently sitting at a table just near the bar. They have a bowl of hearty stew and both a mug of ale, respectively. Titan, you're at the bar, and Loath is behind it, currently just catching up with the daily gossip that Valman has gathered through his working his shift, as is required when you're changing hands with someone at a restaurant. So you wouldn't believe the merchants that left at noon today, the stuff I saw them in the back of the wagon that they had to store, I could have sworn a bunch of wrapped up bodies. I'm telling you, I think they were necromancers.
You sure?
Pretty sure. I think I even saw one of them move.
I don't know. The dwarf seemed pretty nice.
Yeah,
Didn't
but
seem like a necromancer type to me.
yeah, but did you, and no offense, see the elf? Like, little bit too gaunt, a little bit too pale, eyes a little bit too sunken. It was a little off. Titan, back me up with this, right? Like, you saw that elf? Like, it was a little weird, right?
I try not to involve myself too much in elf business. The bodies were certainly interesting, though. Would have liked a closer look.
Yeah, I told you. They were bodies.
Well, I didn't really take that much of a look. I just assumed they were silks or something.
It's a very weird shape for a bunch of silks, Lilith. Is that a common way that elves wrap silks? Because if that is, that would explain everything. Again, no offense. You're just the expert elf in the bar right now.
No, but
Yeah,
like I said,
what do elves do? Titan just gets a smile.
lots of things.
Yeah, but how do they wrap their silks?
Probably about the same as everyone else. Like I said, I didn't really get a good look.
Yeah. That's why I'm telling you should trust me. It was a bunch of bodies. Wrapped. One of them twitching still. Telling you, necromancers. Very well paying necromancers, but necromancers.
Shouldn't we tell the Zeal then?
I mean, they're gone. They didn't do anything. Is it our business that they're, transporting dead bodies? They could be coroners too, I guess, suppose.
See, I
The
believe
old man
that.
wouldn't need any help with any silly necromancers anyway.
Mm-hmm.
If they were necromancers, they're small time at best.
Or I guess they could have just been scavengers, coming from Novagurn. Not unheard of. Again, harvesting bodies is weird, but I suppose there's a market for everything.
Never know when you're gonna need a spare organ or two. And he winks.
Titan, that is not something you wink about.
I'm just saying, could save lives.
So you're
As
telling...
As long as those organs are given willingly, she smiles, waves friendly way towards the two coppers sitting 10 feet away.
Rorkin just raises his mug like, he heard you, and he's acknowledging it, but he's not saying anything more. Right, I guess I should go home. You've got everything under control here, Lil? Everything good?
Yeah, I think I've gotten the hang of it. Stay dry out there. It's boring.
Yeah. Don't worry. I have an umbrella. I'll be fine. All right. Well, you two enjoy your night. Don't do anything I would. Don't upset any necromancers or body collectors or things like that. Damn rain. And he pulls an umbrella off of the nearby rack, and there's a lot of poof as he opens it up. It's like 3 times his size. It would accommodate Titan comfortably, and he just covers himself mostly with it, so he looks like a turtle just slowly waddling out through the front door. He gets stuck a little and then realizes he has to partially close it to get out, and then eventually makes it out into the rain. Cursing and swearing in Gnomish the whole way. Is there anything you'd like to say between the two of you, Lil and Titan?
Anything to talk about, Lil?
No pressure.
Suppose. How many of you had to drink already?
I don't know, 4, 5. Not enough.
Alright. You haven't quite reached the limit that your wife told me not to serve you anymore.
Oh, come on. Lotus was just joking around.
Oh, she seemed pretty serious when she talked to me.
She always does. Besides, what trouble could I possibly cause? Especially with our esteemed coppers. Ain't that right, Rorky?
You were really trying to stir up some shit, huh, Titan?
Nah, not me. Model citizen.
Well, there's nobody for you to punch in the face since all the merchants are gone.
Titan does like hunch down a little grumble, and he's like, yeah, that's true enough. Oh no, never punched a necromancer before. Would have been fun. He just smiles really broadly.
Oh, just gotta give the exasperated sigh of she's used to people making up weird stories about anyone who comes through town.
Mm-hmm. It's one of the most popular, games for small-time villagers to do.
Titan's
Okay.
just ordering another drink unless something weird happens. Not that anything would.
Thank you. I'm glad I'm not the only one that that can do that. Meanwhile, across the street, Melody is in the process of helping put all of her siblings to bed, which honestly isn't all of her siblings, since most of them are old enough to be responsible for themselves. Who do you think is the
youngest?
But yeah, who do you think is the biggest troublemaker? Do you think Zine's going to fight you about going to bed?
I don't think any of them are going to fight her. I do think she has them just a little enraptured, though, with their favorite bedtime story.
And where in the old bricked house is collective story time?
She would probably do that in the living room. I'm actually trying to think where the moon would be in the sky. Do you have a direction for that?
I probably do. But as previously mentioned, once upon a time, I don't have everything set up currently. So I don't know quite where it is in the sky. I just know that it is 3/4 full.
Okay. So she would find a spot by a window that they could see the moon. Although it's raining, so it's like it would be through the clouds at this point, I guess. So it might not matter all that much if it's full clouds, right? Not patchy.
Tiny patches. Like you can tell where the moon is because it illuminates the clouds with this, with that silver glow. But you have to kind of wait for one to sort of pass by and it quickly illuminates the exterior of Greenwood. So there are moments. So there's an opportunity to have a little bit of moonlight ambiance while telling a story.
Okay. Well, then they're probably sitting in the twins' room, I would say. Can I move myself there?
You probably have to open a door.
I have to open a door. And then I move myself. Boop. Oh no, I went through a wall. Don't go through a wall. I'm learning. Oop. So yeah, they'd all be sitting together in, I'd say, the twins' room. The twins are tucked into bed, and she's probably got Zine on her lap or curled up in a blanket kind of in a corner. And as they're sitting there, she's kind of making a theatric of it, standing in the middle. They've heard this story hundreds of times, so even if she's not speaking the loudest, they know what's happening. She crashes her hands together as the story kind of comes to an end and goes, and her claws, they grip tight, and they wrestle together, and they're still stuck. That's Thalman and Abanus kept stuck. And that's why, and she goes over to the moon, and she goes, that's why when the moon turns, one side's light and one side's dark. And so never go out at night when the moon's not there. Because then you're under all the manner of chaos. And she kind of like, the old fairy tale stories of enough to scare the kids to stay in bed kind of idea.
Mm-hmm.
And she swoops down on Z and she goes, because we all know that chaos is the favorite thing in the whole world. And she scoops up Zane. Is little ones that won't go to bed, and she tickles his belly.
Very cute.
Yeah. So she'd kind of close the door, turn the light down, and get Zine over to his bed.
Okay. Well, after a story like that, no one fusses. Some of them will probably stay up a little later reading or entertaining themselves in other various manners, as some of the older ones tend to do. But you think you've done a good job of wrangling the ones that might be slightly more consistent troublemakers. And I would officially like to reward you with the first point of inspiration.
Yay!
Because I think that was an excellent ad-lib story.
I have world building.
Great.
It was great, yeah.
At one point, you're going to have the kids that go, but what happened to the moon before the dragons?
Mm-hmm.
Don't ask your dad. I wasn't here. I wasn't born yet.
Just ask Ma or Pa.
Right?
Funnily enough, I have an answer for that.
Where do I mark inspiration? That's on a sheet, right?
You'll have to make something for it. But there is something that will totally work.
Oh, right, because this isn't single inspiration points.
Yeah.
Man, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, hi. We use a lot of homebrew systems here, including the inspiration system, which ranges on a scale of 1 to 6, of which characters can hold up to their proficiency bonus and spend them on various fun effects that can keep them alive way longer than they need to be. I'm looking at you, Orphan Donner.
But yeah, I was gonna say, once the story's done, she would kind of scuttle across the hall to her parents' room. Actually, thinking of the time of night, they're probably out in the living space, so she'd kind of scuttle out there and just be like, Ma, Da, going over to the tavern. It won't be too late. and, throws on her cloak and runs downstairs and heads out across the street.
Yeah, they're both currently curled up on the couch, reading a book together, as is one of their nightly habits. But Melody, you throw on your rain cloak and make your way downstairs. See, everything's perfectly fine. Nothing's wrong, and nothing wrong is going to happen.
Don't lie to us.
Would I lie to you?
Yes.
Make a deception check.
No, make an insight check. Would I lie to you? Would I?
6.
No, I wouldn't lie to you.
Seems legit.
Yeah. Melody, how you doing? You making your way out of your home?
Yep,
Perfect.
just one square at a time.
Yep. Yeah, I learned a lot making this incredibly complex map way sooner. You could stop right there, Melody. You're not getting all the way to the tavern yet. This very complex map that I've never done before, including when making certain things in a map making software and then importing them to Foundry. There's a lot of important things like grid size DPI you need to be concerned about, the way you build things on certain grids, because is walking around some of these houses really janky. And I'm sorry about that. But the good news is we probably don't have to worry about those houses being janky for too long. I mean, everything's going to be perfectly fine.
I was going to say, I think I walked over a kitchen table
Yeah.
twice.
Yeah. Anyway, lessons learned. One time I'll do a map making stream and building in Foundry so everyone can see and learn from my mistakes. That being said, Roz, you're continuing up the central road towards the Moonshine Tavern. There is a large domed umbrella approaching you, to which you can see some bright magenta colored boots underneath walking towards you.
Oh, hey. I assume you just finished at the tavern.
Hey, Roz. Yeah, just finishing up. Just heading home. The old share house. You know me. Love sharing a house. That's what we do at the share house. Yep.
Kinda glad I caught ya.
Oh.
Any new gossip or rumors?
Oh. So, are you ready for this? He gets up close
Always ready.
and he leans the umbrella back just enough so it's still encapsulating him, but so he can look up and make eye contact. So earlier, the last merchants out of the village before we closed the gates, this dwarf and an elf, perfectly well mannered, they tipped well. But when I watched, Galen helped offload their wagon in the back when they first came in, I was positive that they had a bunch of dead bodies in the back of their wagon, like tightly wrapped up. Lilith says it's an elf thing, the way they wrap their silks. I think that's crazy. I think she's kookier than the jester, honestly. Because I swear I watched one of them move. And if you saw the elf, man looked like a walking skeleton with skin pulled over. It was off-putting. So I think we had a bunch of necromancers visit. Yeah.
This is not an uncommon exaggeration for Valman, is it?
Not at all. Valman always has a story like this. Every single day, even when there isn't a visitor that people can confirm, he has a story.
And I'm still loving the tea, even if it's completely banana shit crazy.
Yep.
Uh-huh. So where did they go? Where'd they come from?
All I know is that they came from the west, and they're heading towards the east. That's all I know. I didn't ask too much. The elf scared me, to be quite honest with you. I just, yes sir, no sir, thank you for the money, sir. You're looking lovely today, sir, and send him about his way.
Well, if they come back and they start asking questions, I won't tell anyone that you started spreading their secrets.
Yeah, no, that'd be really appreciated. Thanks. The next bear's on me. And he winks.
Wouldn't want any necromancers to come after you.
No, not at all. I'm glad to have someone like you, watching my back, Roz. Feel a lot safer with you around.
I feel like you're saying that because you can hide in my shadow.
You just see him give like a really big shrug. Well, I mean, yeah, it's true. I would totally hide behind you if if the sky were to fall today, I would stand behind Roz.
Well, that's actually really nice.
You're reliable. You're scrappy. You get knocked down in a fight and you get right back up. Honestly, I prefer to stand behind you.
I don't know how to take these compliments, so I'm just gonna move on and go try to get drunk before I get sappy.
Fair enough. I can respect that. All right, have a good night.
Have a good night, Valman.
Yeah, fair warning. Titan's like 4 or 5 in, so he too is a little scrappy right now. So just be aware.
I can outdrink Titan. I can definitely outdrink Titan.
Yeah, you totally can. Yeah, I believe you.
Of course I can.
Mm-hmm. Believable.
Roz has definitely tried to outdrink Titan before.
I
It
bet.
never worked.
No, I bet it hasn't.
Alright, well, see you later.
Yeah. Good night. Enjoy your enjoy your drinks. I'd say hi for everybody. I just left there. So good night. He just turns around and starts plodding away. And it just so happens, Roz, as you continue down the road towards the Moonshine Tavern, you see someone bundled up in a rain cloak exiting from the general goods store.
Oh, psst. Audie,
Hi there, Ross. Chat?
I can't hear you over there.
And she waves. She lifts up her hand and waves. You can see her mouth moving, maybe.
I swear you got to speak up occasionally.
And she just kind of like shakes her head adamantly. Mm-mm.
Oh, if you say so. You know you have permission to speak it to me whenever.
Oh, yes, but it could hurt ya. I don't want that.
Hasn't yet.
We've tried. Send it in.
Well, listen, the day you actually hurt me with your voice is the day you can stop using your big girl voice. Come on, we're standing out in the rain and it's fucking cold.
Yeah. Audie links her arm up with Roz. And
Arm in arm we
parades.
go.
Yeah, parades her to the door.
Mm-hmm. Lilith, Titan, the front door of the tavern suddenly bursts open. 2 figures enter, outlined by shadow and torchlight.
I mean, it's not Titan's job to greet customers.
Yeah, Lilith.
Lilith turns with a bright smile and sees who it is and just gives a wave. Good evening.
Evening.
Finished up with work for the day?
Finished, clean, wearing clean clothes, and I heard that Titan is already about 4 deep. My chance has come.
Yeah, that's old news.
I'm
on
drinking
your
blender,
end,
old man.
Lilith. 6?
6.
You got some catching up to do, kid.
Fine, I can do it. Who said I can't? Hang up my cloak. Get over here.
What about you, Audie? You drinking tonight?
Just an apple cider, please.
Coming right up. Oh, right. What we were talking about. So then he said, mountains aren't just funny, they're hill areas.
I'd don't have any.
Titan just sits there
skill to-
blinking at you.
Get it?
That one
'Cause
came all the way from the city, did it?
a dwarf told it to me.
Those dwarves are miles ahead when it comes to humor technology, I guess.
She'll pour the drinks and slide them over to the newcomers.
Well, down the hatch. Can't imagine
Audie's-
what would go wrong.
Audie's just gripping her mug. Just like keeping warm, happy that they're inside.
Rorkin, Renrasa, let me know if you want anything more, okay?
Yeah, will do. And I've got to advise that you slow down on Titan's drinks a little bit. Titan?
Don't know what you're talking about, Rorky. Settle a bet, Roz. Don't you think Rorky's looking a little slimmer? Like he's lost some mass.
I plead whatever it is, it doesn't get me in trouble.
You know, when you put it like that, you give him credibility.
Just giving him credibility to get me out of trouble.
Yeah, I suppose it does.
Not my problem then.
You see you see Rorkin reach into his belt pouch and he slides a couple of silvers over to Bernrasa. They clearly had some sort of silent bet about when someone next came in, if Titan was going to inquire about that, if they would support or turn him down. You know what, Roz? That reminds me. I have something I need to give to Braun. Is he awake still?
Probably. Not for much longer, though.
All right, I'll hustle on down to your house. Need to drop off a, early birthday present.
Alright, well, he's probably on the couch right now.
Calling it quits already, Rorky.
I'll be back, you drunk lizard.
Looking forward to it.
He pushes himself out from the table, which puts him in the position where he's suddenly standing in the chair. And he just looks across the table to his partner. Just make sure everyone stays in line, huh, Bren? And she just gives a silent nod and continues eating her stew. And he'll hop down, grab his pack that's been leaning against the wall, and we'll sort of just quickly, with a swift trot only that only a Florin can get past the bar, and then as he's at the door, he'll flick a silver onto the counter. I'll be back.
See you soon.
And he trots out.
We'll take the silver and put it wherever they put the money.
All right. Lilith, Roswin, if you'd like to make me perception checks.
14.
Suspicious.
Not at all.
Oh, okay. Well, I am proficient. 21.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Roz, you don't really notice anything. Again, the coppers carry big packs. They have all kinds of things attached to them for the sake of various types of emergencies, including climbing kits and medical supplies and various types of gadgets and weapons and armor and replacement parts and things like that. Lilith, though, it was on the blind side of the bag, so you caught an eye. You got a glimpse of it when he turned to flick the silver onto the countertop, which is there was a wrapped bundle. Looked like, from your approximation, a sword wrapped in a red cloth, tied off with like gold twine. And it pings a memory from a time where the Shalseer visited during once upon a training session. Yeah, just.
She kind of stares at the door for a moment before shrugging. She doesn't know anything about that particular style of sword or anything.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you can make a history check if you'd like.
Lilith loves her history checks. 14.
Okay. Given that it's sort of wrapped up and most of it is not easily identifiable, the only thing you can really approximate from it is that it is a 1.5 hand sword, a long sword of some type. You're not entirely sure anything else about it, though. Okay.
And this isn't something that she's seen him carrying around at any other time that
Nope.
Been...
No. Rorken's weapon of choice is his bare hands.
I think, considering that this is a tavern and 90% of all fun in Greenwood comes from gossip, Lilith will just say, "Why does he carry a sword?"
Are you asking us as partners right over there?
She looks over. Did Rorken start fighting with the sword, or is that the present?
Bryn just shakes her head. Just in a negative. To both questions.
Here I was hoping he was losing a step in the old fisticuffs. Maybe I could get him this time. Sorry, go ahead, CJ.
No, it's quite all right. I was going to see if Lilith perhaps wanted to make an insight check to read further into Bryn's expression.
D&D.
Yeah, I know, right?
That would be a total of a 4.
Yep, you can't really tell what Bryn's intentions were with the shake of her head no to both of your questions. It remains a mystery. But with your earlier quite high perception check, I will note that she does have, for Bryn, it's quite rare, she does have a bit of a slight smirk that is upturned to her lips. That when you sort of disengage away from the answer she's given, it recedes back to her normal, somewhat placid expression.
Oh, I'm curious now. If he's still holding it when he comes back, I'm gonna pester him. And I'm guessing by now that both of you want a refill.
Of course. I can drink way more than Titan. Ever could. And that's been proven on numerous occasions.
Can't let her catch up too fast.
It's been attempted on multiple occasions from my memory, but...
Well, I don't remember losing, so I'm not sure it happened.
Got an extra bed and a wheelbarrow if she needs it.
We've got plenty of rooms she can borrow if she can't make it home.
Thinking she could get up the stairs.
These are outrageous accusations. I want to make it home fine. And then I'm gonna see why there's a sword in my house now. Don't know why
Guess we
you'd give a
gotta
sword
wonder
to
if
an
the
old woman.
wheelbarrow's big enough for me then.
You'd have to
I
be
could
strong
carry
enough
you.
to lift ye.
I could do it.
See, I
See
can't
now
even.
that one, I believe.
I can't even lecture you because you're the town doctor. You're the one who's supposed to be lecturing everyone else.
Exactly. I know my limits.
Meanwhile, elsewhere, Corona,
Oh, here we go.
you're still out on the wall. You're still keeping an eye out. Nothing new has come by that you've noticed. However, it's right around this time, after about 10 minutes or so since you sent out the request, there's another series of signals that flash around all the torches, which is a warning that something is amiss. It is essentially a be on guard.
Be on guard. Okay.
Yeah.
So just be extra vigilant
More or less.
in your watch.
Yeah.
Okay.
That being said, would you like to make another perception check for me?
Yes, absolutely. Perception. Oh, there it is. Nice.
Oh,
Natural one for
think-
2.
Yeah, she's been getting impatient, waiting for something here.
Yeah. And you're just kind of tunneling in the same area where you saw something, trying to figure out where it went.
Man, I'm sure I saw something. She just mutters to herself.
Yep. Well, some time is going to pass. Another 5 minutes or so for those of you sitting in the tavern enjoying a drink, some light banter. Corona, who is tunneling quite hard on the exterior of the village, looking for whatever caught her attention before, waiting for another signal as to what might be going on from the person that went to go investigate. She doesn't even notice the halfling in his jingly equipment strode on by past the road, heading towards Roz's place. When another series of lights go around, it's a signal, Corona, for a person missing.
Is there an accompanying cardinal direction?
You can ask. To which the southeastern torches will flicker and alert you towards the east, the southeast.
Okay. I think as long as it's not breaking protocol too much, she's going to try and rush through the little watch post here and head in that direction.
Yeah. Perfectly fine. And you begin moving south, just wanting to act, wanting to see what's happening. But as you do, Corona, you watch something you would probably denote as not good happen. You watch as the torches on the southern outposts go out. What do you do?
Is there? Could she hear anything past the rain and everything?
Make another perception check.
Okay. Perception. There we go. Oh, so close. 15.
You look, shielding your eyes. You listen, trying to pick out the sounds that don't belong to the regular noises you're used to. You don't hear anything. Nothing smells off. And perhaps is another warning that you can easily heed is that you also don't see anyone, which is you're capable of seeing no one is there, which is upon itself a problem.
Yeah, because they'd be having torches and everything probably as well.
Yep. Yeah, the whole southern side of the palisade wall, the outposts are just all completely dark. This is not a part of a typical protocol at all. These lanterns, the gnomish flicker lights, are always half shuttered when not being used to signal. That's the everything's okay sign.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
what do you do?
She's not gonna mess around. So the shutters is one thing. You said that
There is a bell.
There is the bell. Okay.
Yeah, so the shutter is basically just for more direct communication. Again, it sort of ripples across the village closest to the furthest to make sure everyone sees it. And then the bell is to, when something has been verified, to let everybody know. Everyone in the village needs to know and should behave a certain way now.
Okay. She's going to shutter south. Just like 3 times.
Okay.
Then she's going to make her way there, assuming she has some sort of like backup weaponry on her, or that she might be able to get along the way.
So the guard posts have quarterstaffs and longbows. Quarterstaffs, longbows, and light crossbows. Always stocked and available.
Perfect. She'll take a longbow.
Okay.
I'll just add that manually onto my sheet.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't do item piles for the outhouses. Outhouses.
Oh, you're good.
Guard posts.
Whoops. But yeah, she will do that, and then she's gonna be huffing it over, in that direction along the walkway.
Okay. You begin heading south along the walkway. You watch as you sent out your signal. You see it sort of, again, closest to furthest out begin to sort of ripple in response as people acknowledge it. As you were about like halfway towards the next outpost in the south, because of just light and darkness being very easy to spot, especially for someone whose vision is not as well adapted to darkness, being a human, you watch as the next southernmost outpost flicker light goes out.
Oh, jeez.
So would you like to move yourself south?
Yeah, sorry, I was just adding the thingamajig, but I'll do that later. Yeah, she's gonna be running this away. Let me know if I need to stop at any point.
Yeah, you will soon.
She's just dashing. She's just dashing, double dashing, whatever she needs to.
Yep. Stop there.
Okay.
What is your passive perception?
Not great. I believe it is 11.
Okay. Verona, you're running towards the next outpost. The lanterns have been shuttered completely. It is absolutely dark. From where you were before, and now that you're much closer, you can now definitively tell there is nobody here, and no sign of the watchman that was supposed to be at this post. As you were focusing so strongly forward, it distracts you enough away from the sound of something climbing up and over the palisade wall and launching itself at you.
Oh.
I'm not going to officially start an initiative because it's just you and it, Corona. So we're gonna leave this here for you.
Yep.
This entity, this construct, as you're catching glimpses of it, is a small, somewhat flattened sphere of a creature with what looks like 4 thin legs with several articulations along the length of them, so it has multiple joints. and it is leaping off the top of it onto you.
Oh, okay.
It is going to attempt to zap you.
Zap me. Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna give you a little electric prod.
All right.
But an 8 is going to miss. The thing lands on you. You're highly alert because you know something unusual is going on. You reach behind you and you just sort of chuck it off of you, throwing it onto the ground in front of you, just more out of reflex than actual thought. And you watch as it lands, its legs twist and right itself immediately. And you're staring at this small copper automaton. It has looks like it has a single like red gemstone eye that's on a slight elongated mechanical neck, so it can easily scan in a 360 view around itself. And it's made up of multiple plates on this, flattened spherical body with these, 4 legs. And it has a small little prod on its underside that you can see is kind of crackling with this dim blue electrical energy. Now it's revealed itself and it attempted to harm you very clearly. What are you doing?
She is actually going to forego fighting the thing, and she sees that there's an outpost like coming up.
Yep.
So, assuming that ringing the alarm is fast enough, she's probably going to prioritize that at this point.
Yeah, I mean, to keep things simple, ringing the alarm is an action.
Okay. Then, if we're doing like a soft turn thing, then
Basically.
okay, she's going to use her action to disengage.
Okay.
As I try to remember how to play 5e.
Yep.
And at that point, she's moved everything she can. I think that's it.
Okay.
For now, yeah, yep.
It's going to rush after you. And this time you're going to watch as it skitters rapidly towards you, and when it's about 5-10 feet away, it launches itself into the air, all 4 of its articulated legs kind of spreading out. And it is going to attempt to clamp itself onto you.
It's like a face hugger.
Basically. Corona, make an athletics check. Or acrobatics check, but I'm assuming it's an athletics check.
It's probably going to be athletics, yeah. Sure.
Ooh, real good.
19.
19 is sufficient. Yeah, you watch as it scrambles to try to get purchase on you. Its top 2 legs kind of get onto your shoulders, and your arm with the longbow, which is actually providing a bit of leverage to keep it off of you because it's between you and it now. You're trying to push it away, and you essentially manage to brace yourself on the bow and shove it off. And you look like it's not like fighting with any particular intelligence. It's fighting like it has a very singular purpose. But you can now very easily make your way to the outpost.
Yeah, she's going to basically try and use the moment there as she shoves it off. Kind of struggling a bit to do so, but she will not disengage because she needs the action now.
Okay.
So she will provoke.
Yeah. Yeah, and it will attempt to give you a little prod. 14, which I believe does hit.
Yes.
You're going to get zapped for a whopping 2 lightning damage.
Okay. Could be worse.
Yeah, it's going to launch out the probe and retreat, and it's just going to sort of like graze the side of the side of your abdomen.
She lets out a grunt as it kind of does that, but she catches her balance, getting into the watch post. Sees that there's still an absence of people, but she's not going to waste time. She is going to, at this point, sound the alarm. There's something going on, and this is enough for her to sound it.
Do you go to like, code red immediately, or do you do like a softer code orange or yellow?
Probably not code red, but I'm not sure what they what they would entail. This could be a danger, and she doesn't know how many, and they're kind of overtaking the walls. What's a code orange?
Imminent attack. Something dangerous is approaching the village that has been observed. People should be ready. It's basically like a shelter in place kind of thing. Wherever you are, stay, lock doors. A code red is full on like invasion.
Ready there.
Yeah, and yellow is we've observed something. Go home. Lock your doors.
Okay. Considering how fast the lights are going out, I think she's gonna go red.
Okay. You rush into the guard post. You reach out to the bell. You adjust the lever that sets the tone for the bell, and with all of the muscles built up from farming and training with the militia, you ring and you ring and you ring. And at first it's just you, and then quickly it begins to spread throughout the rest of the village as other bells are rung, eventually reaching the ears of everyone in the tavern. And it is the sound that is the one you've never wanted to hear and have only ever heard once before. And it was not good then either. So, before we figure out what's going to happen next, we're going to take a 10-minute break.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Break time.
Yeah, again, no pressure.
10 minutes for all hell to break loose, gang. It's
Yeah.
time. The bad thing.
It's happening. It's
When you
happening.
talked by
Better now.
tiny mechanical, I imagined them as like little frogs for some reason.
No, honestly, Zhao's approximation of Face Hugger is pretty close. Like they do the leapy leg latchy thing. So, yeah. Anyway, we'll be right back.
Those gnomes.
And we're back. And everyone's unmuted, so we can besmirch Quinn about not sharing her ice cream.
It's candy cane.
Never
That's
mind.
not
I don't. No, it's not. No,
It's minty.
keep it to yourself.
Oh, I'll share it.
If I wanted mint, I'd go brush my teeth. That's my very strong opinion about mint flavored anything.
If I had a nickel for every person who had that exact opinion in real life about mint ice cream, I'd have 2 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it's happening.
Wow. Really built that whole thing up. Okay. I think now that we're back, and we're going to see what everyone else is up to, I think it's appropriately timed that we switch music. Don't be alarmed.
Don't be alarmed by what? The alarm?
Yes.
We're supposed to be alarmed. It's
That's-
an alarm.
Yeah, speaking of which, back at the tavern, after a couple of drinks, some polite banter, a little bit of curiosity about Rourken and what he's doing with the sword, a red alert bell is chimed, and you slowly begin, as the resonance picks up and gathers all across the village, as other militia are responding to it. What do you all do?
Go. Get out. Go.
I'm supposed to leave.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as that alarm's going, tightens up.
We're not supposed to leave. We're supposed to stay in place.
That's all well and good for you, kid, but I gotta make sure Lotus is safe.
Yeah, sorry. I just don't like the rules, and I just gotta get home, right?
And Audie is kind of like looking around at everyone. And looks back to Lilith and is just like, and you? How many are in here tonight?
Is there anybody staying in the inn tonight?
No, empty. I rolled for this.
It's empty. It's just us.
And she looks over at Bryn. What's Bryn doing?
She got up. She grabbed her staff and her shield, leaving just part of her pack behind, essentially the non-essential combat part. The rest she strapped onto herself, and she's gotten up and she was heading towards the door.
And then Audie just kind of looks to Lilith and goes, anything you need upstairs?
No.
Follow me. And Audie would lead her over to her family home so they could basically lock down together. Someone raids a tavern, it's a tavern, kind of was her thought.
Fair.
Unless protocol is to stay in the tavern, in which case she'd be very conflicted right now.
It isn't. Again, Red Alert is usually shelter in place. Every place that's built in Greenwood is very sturdy. And the tavern especially so, given that every Greenwood citizen knows there is a secret panic bunker underneath the tavern. Specifically, right there. Which is hidden behind and secured behind several very thick metal doors. So technically speaking, if you needed a place to be secure and safe in, you would stay there. However, Audie, your home is just across the street.
No, it was kind of her thought, yeah.
Yeah, it's not a crazy idea to just, leave. So what is Lil and Audie doing?
I suppose I'll ask, does Fazil keep any weapons behind the counter of the bar?
There are some weapons back there. A small handful, in fact. There is a dagger, a short sword, and a light crossbow.
Well, she's got a dagger already, but she'll grab the sword and the crossbow just in case.
Okay. You guys are also keenly aware of the fact that there are already lamps outside, stocked with swords and spears and shields. But it sounds like everyone is leaving the tavern.
Does Lilith have keys to lock it from the outside?
You would have keys, yeah.
I don't think she would lock it because if somebody needs to run in and take cover there, then they need to be able to get in.
Yeah, doors in Greenwood are not typically locked.
Imagine we'd ready the wooden bar or something if someone would need it, but it's probably by the door anyway, if they have one.
Okay. So everyone in the safety of the tavern, you all gather up, thoughts racing, hearts racing, and you all pile out through the front door. It's in the order of Titan, Bryn, Roz, Lilith, Melody, for if that matters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As you all make your way outside, Greenwood is still sleepy, in that you don't see a lot of people responding because the reaction is to stay where you are. And if you're not somewhere, get somewhere. However, most of you would easily be able to observe the two individuals on gate duty. Brenner, the town's baker and a former harbor watchman, is one. And the other is one of the village's hunters, a female elf by the name of Gildry. They're both up on the front gate posts, looking over, and you can see them both armed. Gildry with an arrow at the ready to her longbow, and Brenner with the crossbow, kind of let down but ready to snap up at a moment's notice. He'll turn around as he sees you all pile out of the tavern. He'll walk up to the edge of the post. Get back inside the tavern and lock the door.
What's going on, Brenner? I gotta get my wife.
Unknown faction. Large armored units walking down the main street right now. More than a dozen. I would advise all of you to either get to a place, secure the doors, windows, locks, or start heading to the lake.
You see Audie try and respond with the loudest voice she can muster. So somebody might have to, relay this back to the guards. Which is just like, it's like, go into the store. Keep a family together and safe. Tavern's empty.
All right, be quick about it.
Yeah, Titan just looks at the three girls and is like, "Get somewhere safe. Get there fast." He looks at Roz. Make sure your family's all right, kid.
That's the plan.
All right, run.
As you all turn to break for it, there is a sudden bright blue light that comes sailing over the palisade wall. It makes all of your hair on your body stand up on end, tighten your scales, tingle at whatever this glowing flying star is. It seems to move in slow motion, like it's made up of liquid energy. It sails up at an angle, reaches quite high, 150 feet, 200 feet in the air, and it ripples and then explodes. And there is a washing of energy that is rapidly cast out. And all at once, you watch from the center of the village where it exploded and all the way out, as all of the magical lights used to illuminate the town go black.
Just watching those lights blink out one at a time.
Yeah, it's dramatic, but also a little time consuming. So while I'm doing this, and everyone can assume that there's no more lights to be seen, would you all like to take your respective amount of movement in your respective directions?
Where does Roz live?
The southeastern corner. Pretty much as far as she can go to the southeast.
Can I take a weapon before I go?
You guys are more than welcome to loot the ready lamps.
Is this area in the southeast difficult terrain? It kind of looks like it might be, but
In the southeast, no. I mean, if you're if you're just walking straight up through it, I mean, yeah, okay. So actually, the patch that you're highlighting, I need to come see what you were doing. Yeah, this particular area is.
okay,
The growth is pretty difficult to manage.
gotcha.
So yeah, so those of you interested in looting one of the ready lamps, help yourself. Shields, spears, and short swords are available in limited quantities, of course. So first come, first serve. Oh, I say that, but in all honesty, there's a ton of stuff to take. So, does everyone have their desired equipment?
Good to go.
Okay.
Time being. Yep.
So for those of, sorry, Ben, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, as soon as Roz is all equipped up, Titan's gonna grab her by the arm. Come on, I'll get you as far as I can.
All right, let's go. Let's go.
Just to double check, Brenner just suggested that we head to the lake.
Either find a place to settle down or run to the lake. He basically said one or the other.
Okay. Seeing all the lights go out and Titan doing something that, she was going to do with Adi, Lilith is going to grab Adi's hand and rush her across the street towards her house.
Yep. Audie's right there with her.
Titan is dashing.
Yeah. So, as per a normal turn, move your total amount of movement, please.
Titan and Roz are here.
Would I be able to assume that I outran the thing that was chasing me?
It is a bold assumption to make.
It is.
It
That's
is.
why I'm hesitant to move too much.
Yeah. Which is to say, it is going to pursue you.
Okay.
So you will have to be dealing with that the entire duration you're attempting to go somewhere. The only reason why I have not gone back to attacking you with it is because I have so many lights to turn out.
Oh, I know.
There is not a good way to do this because I attach the lights to the characters as opposed to making them independent lights, which again, I'm learning a lot of intelligent ways to build maps better. And one day I'll share all those fun tips and tricks with you so you don't make my mistakes.
Woo.
But don't worry, I'm almost done. I have, another 8 to do. So that being said, because why not? I can do things on the fly. Corona, it sounds as if you're trying to go somewhere. Why don't you tell me about that?
Yeah, she's after she rings the bell, her intent is to get down to the ground floor, dropping her torch because she doesn't have 3 hands.
That'd be weird, yeah.
Yeah. And she is basically going to she's going to make sure that everyone's okay. She's going to see if the thing is chasing her. Her idea is to stay away from the south because that's where the lights went out first, so that's probably the most dangerous area. And then she sees the EMP go off in the north, so she's not so sure anymore.
Whole village is dark.
Yeah, the whole village is dark. Clearly the whole place is under attack. No place is really safe. But her intent is to outrun the thing in the darkness that's chasing her. Along the way, make sure people are in shelter, and I suppose that for her being part of the town guard, that the town guard themselves need to meet up with each other, correct? Or
so this is where the decision making of the individuals comes down to the training of the militiamen, and that the scenario, it really just depends on what's happening.
Okay.
If it's a small threat and it's coming to, it needs to get into the village, the idea is to hold the wall and have the militia meet up on that section to deter it. However, you can no longer communicate. So really, this is just a matter of doing what Corona thinks is best.
Okay, that's easy. Okay.
Especially since you've lost the militia on that corner of the wall.
Yeah. then her main intent is to probably the farms are on the west side. You said, right?
Yeah, they're on the west side. They're outside the
Like outside
palisade
the
wall. Yeah.
Yeah. She wants to check on her mom and pa. So
Okay. For the record, nothing says you have to follow a road. You just have to be okay with taking a jump off of some, small heights, 5-10 feet. It's like quite literally nothing Corona couldn't handle. Just so you know.
okay.
That being said, where Corona is, so you're there. So yes, so the creature did in fact, yeah. The creature does follow you, because you go over, you adjust the bell, you ring it wildly. It rushes up behind you. It's going to attempt to give you another prod before you essentially jump and run. It is going to miss. I'm assuming you do one of those fireman slides down the ladder.
Yeah, assuming the the ladders are slick enough with the rain to not give her any crazy splinters along the way.
This isn't some shabby village. All these ladders are well cared for. Yeah, you slide down rapidly, missing. You just see the prod just jut out just over your head as you vanish from its sight and you land. Feel free to take your requisite movement, however you want to do it. So this super patchy area right here that you've highlighted, these 4 squares are difficult terrain.
Okay, starting from where you pinged?
Starting from right here.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3, so going to here.
Okay. Fine.
So that's 40 in total.
Yeah.
And then to
she's,
normal, 45, 50, 55, 60.
There we go.
You'll watch as the automaton leaps off of the guardhouse and lands in the brush. You are happy to realize it does not move through the brush as well as a person does.
Good.
It literally gets to there with all of its movement trying to catch you. From this location, Corona, you would note that, as is the case with all the houses here, there are some of the older cabins that have still the more classic fireplace that uses wood to burn fire to provide heat, to burn wood to provide heat, versus the gnomish furnaces that have been installed in the later homes. And you see that there is light pouring out of one of the windows to the south, which, given the small town nature of Greenwood, you would know is Roz's home.
Okay. Should I keep moving or
Yeah, take another little bit of movement, make your decision basically. And from there I will adjudicate back to the other group and get them moving.
It's gonna be this away. Oh wait, actually I did not see. Hold on. I did not see the road there.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see in general.
There we go. So 60 dashing over there.
The one thing that was not affected by whatever that magical attack was is the enormous shade shimmer tree in the center of town, which is still glowing and shimmering quite beautifully. All right. Back to the rest of you. Well, I guess we're going to split you guys in half. That is not foreshadowing. Titan, Roz. Let's go with you.
60 more feet.
Can you both make perception checks for me?
Yep.
12.
13.
Okay.
Oh no, 14.
Oh. The same way I described to Corona earlier, you all are accustomed to the sounds of Greenwood. The bells have stopped, for better or worse. However, above the rain, you can hear what sounds like the voice or two of someone shouting and exclaiming in panic. And it's coming from the southwest. So if you'd like to move once more.
Yep.
The problem is, it's so dark. You can hear those same sounds. Sounds like someone in trouble. Lassie should come running down the road any minute to let you know that someone is in trouble somewhere over here. But because all the lights have gone out, you can't see very well past a certain distance. You guys have lived here long enough. You know how long the road is. You know where the share house is. You know where the shower rooms are. You know where things are, but you don't know where this is happening exactly. But someone is in trouble. That much you know.
Titan, what do we do?
We gotta keep heading for safety. I think this is a bad one, kid.
All right. All right.
Okay. Going back towards Melody and Lilith. You've reached the general store. I'm assuming you're rushing upstairs.
Yes.
I was going to actually say, are there shutters on the windows? If there's something that's designed to be easy, Audie would like point to the windows and be like, shutters, doors. We'd secure them.
There are wooden shutters. They're not meant to be defensive. They're meant to block out light.
Good enough. Yeah, they do she'd suggest to do a quick securing of the floor, and then run upstairs. Although it's possible that her parents might run downstairs too. You know.
You do hear when you guys enter the general goods store. You do hear movement upstairs, and it's enough footsteps for you to know it's not just Melody's mom and dad.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, if y'all wanted to take, if you didn't notice, I'm giving everyone like a turn and then another turn, and I'm hopping back to the other side of things. If you wanted to take the first turn and the second turn to spend all of your time downstairs shuttering and locking everything, I will let you do that and poise you to let you go upstairs when we return.
That sounds good to me.
Yep.
Okay. So we will do that. I'm just going to go shove you in the back room then, because that's where you guys are going to end up inevitably. Corona.
We are dashing towards the only real source of light in town.
Mm-hmm.
So she's probably going to get to. Actually, is that a cliffside?
It is a small drop. Yes.
Okay, and this is more.
No.
No.
It is thick, but for a Greenwood resident, it's normal. Like you can run through this no problem.
Okay, she's gonna get to around here and see, probably off in the distance. I'm not sure if she'd be able to make out that it's Fazil there.
Yeah, you can. Oh well, you know what? Make a perception check. Let the dice decide. Because currently it is. You can see a figure. It's a matter of deciding. Can you tell who it is?
A 12.
Yeah, you can't be 100% certain. It is not uncommon out of habit for Fazil to be in the town square this time of night, but you're not 100% certain. Given what's happening, it could be anybody.
Sure. Okay. Was that perception check her action?
No.
For this turn? No. Okay. Then I think what she's going to do is she's going to haul still, and she's gonna try and make it down this cliff here.
Sure. It's a 5-foot drop. It's pretty easy. So if you just want to make an athletics check.
Sure. So that's 15 feet, and then athletics. Oh.
Yeah, yeah, not a problem. I mean, you take this at a run. You jump. You can even land on this area over here that's slightly more elevated. So you kind of go from like one level to the same level.
Yep.
And then there's just like a gentle slope here to go down when you get to the other side.
Awesome. Yeah, she's just got adrenaline pumping. She's gonna wait till she gets a little bit closer to call out to the silhouette that she sees, but that's her turn. That's all her movement.
Okay. Okay. You're closing in on this town square. Titan Roz.
Also closing in on the town square, I guess.
Seems to be the case.
Whoops. Oh no, I grabbed the wrong tool. I changed the tools.
He raised his hand.
Oh,
Now I
no.
don't know what I'm doing. I raised my hand.
Put that hand down.
Power.
Don't forget, you can always raise your hand if you need to ask for my attention. So many tools. What do they all do?
All right, how do I select my character?
When in doubt, the top leftmost icon, the little person, token controls, and then the one immediately to the right of it with the 4 brackets that make a square will allow you to select a token.
There we go.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
When in doubt, always return to that the top leftmost square.
New system.
Yep.
New, yeah,
We're all learning.
panicking. Are we close enough to see if this is Fazil or not? Is
Yeah.
Fazil right there?
Yeah. It's currently Fazil. He was actually as you got there, you see someone that is currently jogging around the southern side of the tree, heading south, like he just finished speaking to somebody.
Then yeah, Titan is just, do you know what's going on, old man?
No, I am not yet positive as to what's happening. But, and it is not a good thing, but my intuition says we are in grave danger, Titan.
Titan just swears a string of swears. I gotta go check on Lotus.
By all means, go to your families. Lock your doors. Be safe. Yep. Go ahead.
Didn't even stop to talk.
Mm-hmm. Ross just acknowledged, kept running. That being said, there's a silhouette on the training hill in front of you, Roz.
Great. Spear up. I don't know what that is.
That you, Roz? Keep moving.
Oh, you're human. Oh,
What does that even
what's
mean?
happening?
Something's going on. I don't know what, though. Keep moving. Get to shelter.
Yes, ma'am.
Titan, you get in through the front door of your establishment.
That's all my movement, but he's yelling for Lotus.
Yeah.
Lotus!
You do hear a response, but it is coming from upstairs.
Okay.
Melody.
Next round.
Melody and Lilith.
Bound up the
Upstairs we go.
stairs. Mm-hmm.
I trust you can find your way upstairs.
Oh, it's bright up here. Yay.
Oh, haha.
Something.
No. Let me ruin that hope for you, sorry.
Oh, sad. That's fine. We have semi-dark vision. And the moon's out. Low
Getting,
light. There we go.
getting an error that I'm colliding with something. When I try to move.
Move
There's
towards
banister.
Yeah, move towards the wall and then down. Yeah. It wouldn't have been a problem if it was properly built on a grid between Dungeon Draft and Foundry. Find out how not to make that mistake another stream later.
I assume that Lilith's at least been in Audie's house enough to know whose rooms are whose.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She probably
Um,
can't get all the kids' names straight.
Yeah, but allow me to inform you as you both rush up the stairs and you get around the tricky banister. You see several of the family is gathered on the couch currently. Excuse me. You've got Zine, Delia, Drant. Is it Azael? Azael? Azel?
Let me bring up my document. I think it's supposed to be Azel.
Azel? Okay. You see those four currently on the couch, with Isabel, and you can hear Asmith and Tiffany down the hall, and it sounds like noises are coming from your parents' bedroom. Your mother will turn to see you both running up the stairs, and I mean, like, pretty quickly to respond, she turns to level a crossbow on you both running up the stairs.
Yep.
You see an expression of relief cross over Isabel's face. She recognizes the two of you.
That's Lilith and I. Downstairs scare.
I'm so glad to see you both. Pa and not Isabel, Tiffany are just getting the emergency supplies. Just keep an eye on things. Don't want any surprises. Lilith, dear, it's good to see you, but I wish the circumstances were better.
As do I. Always a pleasure.
Okay, both of you are up here. Is there anything in specific you want to do?
Lilith is going to make her way over here and try to just keep a little bit of a lookout, trying to see if she can kind of smush her head up against the side to see over where the gate is.
Yeah, that's fair.
Smush.
Well, sometime between when you both ran in and Lilith, you got to the window, it looks as if somebody at the gates got some torches lit to provide at least a little bit of illumination up front.
Bryn Russell's still there.
She is currently actually up on this side. I just haven't moved her yet.
Okay. Other than keeping a lookout, Lilith just got the crossbow in her hand, loaded and ready.
Okay, Melody.
Mm.
What are you doing?
she would go and grab. Would it be safe to say that like people would have go bags for scenarios like this?
No, that's
No,
not
that prepared.
No, that's not
So-
yeah. It is not often people prepare to abandon Greenwood.
Okay.
This is more of a, because it is shelter in place first. That is when you take the time to prepare the things in which you need to run with.
Okay.
So now's the time to go into your room to grab stuff.
Yeah, so she's going to take the time to, like I said, secure windows, kind of do what she can in the house, whatever needs to be done.
The windows are secured.
All right. Then she's probably going to grab her journal and shove it in her bag and come back and join the family. She doesn't really have much else she needs to worry about. I mean, she would probably have a few things that's in her bag already, like her mask.
Yeah.
The best kept secret of ever.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and several of your siblings are in a similar boat where they have, small packs and backpacks and things of that nature that you can tell that have been hastily packed and are just sort of sitting off on the side of the couch or on the floor. Zine has his wooden sword, in one of his hands that's resting on his lap. Meanwhile, the twins are both kind of just like sort of speaking to one another, kind of Faraday, in their their twin language that they developed. And it's when you're sort of settling with your siblings that you see your sister Tiffany and your father Asmith come out of your parents' bedroom. To which Tiffany is pulling like a small roller cart behind her. It's kind of like airport luggage. And your father is carrying in both of his arms. It is I would just, to put it very short, it's a gnomish cannon rifle. To put it very bluntly, it's about the same size as he is. It requires mounting in order to fire. And it is capable of punching through steel armor. Just because your father's trade is navigator's tools and things of that nature does not mean that he doesn't have other members of his family that don't specialize in gnomish warfare weapons.
Of course.
Please tell me he's about to set it up at the top of the stairs.
I was going to say, does Melody know where this gets mounted?
It depends on the situation, but you do know those really big windows on your home are meant for it to be mounted onto. That being said, you do know he doesn't like upkeep it super often. Like, it's always serviceable, but it perhaps is not the same level of proficient craftsmanship that it might be coming out of a clan's house that is specialized in this sort of tech. It's no Overspark. All right. Well, as you were all settling in, getting a grasp of the situation there at the Albrecht house, is when all of you in the village hear the first series of distant crack, thunder, boom. It almost sounds like trees splintering and falling. And they are in rapid succession. So just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just these loud, just booming pops. And there are these bright lights that briefly envelop an exterior area outside the village walls and then dim to a softer glow. Forewarning something much worse coming. Corona.
Okay. She's gonna move down to this cliff.
Mm-hmm.
Which at that point I think they'd have the exchange between Roz and herself.
Mm-hmm.
And then question.
Yep.
Are there only north and south gates, or are there also east and west ones?
So technically speaking, there are north, south, and eastern gates. Yeah, the eastern gate's like a hidden gate for the crafts workers to use. But given that a lot of Greenwood's farmers, like, they visit occasionally because farming is a full-time job, so it's not often that they come into the town to like do a whole lot on a day-to-day basis. They come every couple of days. So a gate was not built for that particular convenience. It's more common to just come into the front. So that being said, you've got the north and the south gates as options, unless you wanted to just jump off the palisade wall, I suppose.
Which is probably not that smart, considering she'd probably break the bones too. Okay. Let alone whatever dangers are on the other side. Okay. It sounds like she has to pick her poison. I guess. Let me also ask this. Sorry for all the questions.
No, it's fine.
On foot. How realistic does she feel that it is getting to the farm? Like, is it just so far that it's like unreasonable?
The edge of the farmland starts about 300, 400 feet away from the western wall.
Okay.
That does not include getting to the actual boat itself.
Yeah.
It is a bit of a run. Okay. But it is through the fields and the crops, so at least there would be cover. If that were your consideration.
Southern gate is over there. I think split decision. I think she's probably going to she's worried about Fazil, but I mean, he's the mayor. He probably has a reason for being outside, she hopes. If not, that's none of her business. There's no way he missed that. I think she's going to break to kind of go in the same direction as Roz, and well, not to cut her off here. We'll go like this. Yeah, she's gonna go for the southern gate. Because at least that way they have a better chance of making it close in that direction, considering that's where the attack originated.
Yeah.
That's her turn.
Okay. Roz, since you've now kind of parted ways from Titan.
Oh, can I say, because I didn't get a chance to say, as I didn't realize we had so quickly parted ways.
Yeah.
Titan would have told Roz that she can come back to his house if she can't make it to hers.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, anyways, go on.
Just running, trying to make it home.
Yep. Yeah, you just you see the back of your house, the small cliff, that you have to clamber up. It won't be too great of an effort. You see the still lazy smoke trail drifting up out of the chimney. You can still see some of the firelight kind of flickering out of the back window. Signs that people are home, and there is at least light.
Are we still doing 2 moves, or are we on 1 move?
I was doing 2, but I kind of lost track of my own bookkeeping. Corona, what did you do?
I just did a dash, just a single dash.
Noted. Okay, Roz, we're keeping with 1.
You got it.
Until I can get back to the non-existent top of the round, and we can go back to 2. Titan.
Titan's continuing on his way to meet up with his wife.
Okay, Titan's making his way. Oh. That's not on.
Ooh. Well, that is bad news.
Well, you said it explicitly in your notes. Magical fireplace. Magic no worky.
Magic no worky. Oh, it's the...
Yeah, the stairs are over here. Yeah, it's reasonable you'd be fumbling around. It's dark.
Yeah. There we go. He can't get up the stairs yet, but
Okay.
making his way over there and yelling to Lotus to see if Roz is okay. Check out the windows.
Okay.
Watch Roz.
Lotus will check and call back down to you that she can no longer see Roz.
Titan's still swearing, but yeah.
Yep. Melody Lilith. Anything to note? Just holding down the store.
Yeah, it's the only thing from Audie. She's kind of keeping steady.
Just keeping watch and holding down the fort, doing what we're supposed to do.
Okay. Lilith, as you're keeping an eye on things from the window, you'll watch as Bryn Rasa and Brenner both officially begin launching projectiles over the wall. And in a steady, consistent stream, like they have plenty of targets to do so with. Woven into Bryn Rasa's fire magic, throwing, cantrip strength fire. She does about like partway through the barrage, gather a small spear in her hand, and then launch it over the wall like a baseball pitch, and you hear another concussive crack, and you see another burst of light on the other side of the wall. So it is officially become about something a lot more dangerous than originally intended.
Yeah. I suppose, does Lilith know enough about magic to know what spell that was?
Make an Arcana check.
Oh wow. Natural 19 for a 21.
Oh wow, real good. Yeah, she threw a fireball over the wall.
Lilith is going to turn back to Ade and just say, this might be really bad. We may have to prepare to evacuate.
And she'll just give a nod and she's kind of pacing a little, like she's not really sure what to do, but she almost doesn't want to sit down.
Mm-hmm. Azimuth, who's in the room, still checking over his cannon, making fine adjustments with his belt of bronze tools, will clearly look up after having heard Lilith's report, and he'll look over to his wife. I think it'll be best if you take the children and head downstairs and go into the storage room, just in case you need to make a hasty exit. Melody, will you help your mother round up the children?
Yes, Dad.
Good girl.
And she'll run over and like give a kiss on the top of his head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he'll reach around and kind of hug at your waist and pat your back. That's a good girl. Just make sure your siblings are all safe. And if you hear me say something, and he looks between you, Melody, and your mom, you all should make it out of the loading bay doors and begin heading south. Make it for the lake.
Just gives a very swift nod.
Atta girl. Lilith, can I trust you to go with my family, please?
Yes, sir.
Very good. And he begins hefting, again, this cannon that is about his size, if not a little larger, and hauling it into your bedroom, Audie.
It is the best vantage point from the house.
Yep. So between you, Audie, Lilith, and your mother, will round up the remainder of your siblings and begin making your way downstairs into the first floor of the general goods store, where you'll be making your way towards the storage room in the south, where the loading bay doors are. Yeah, I'm just gonna use my superpowers and cheat and get you there.
That works for me.
Because we're literally just gonna put you right there. Heading further south, Ross. You're now running past the training hill. You get
How hard is it to get up here?
You've climbed it before. It will require an athletics check, but short of a 1, it's easy enough to get up.
No, it's 17 plus modifiers.
Yeah, you're great. Yeah, cakewalk.
Okay, that's 1 dash. Oh,
But wait, there's more.
oh.
So Roz, you managed to make it around the side of your house. There's firelight flickering out the front window where your family room is located. And you can see out on the road both your grandfather and your little brother. And Rorkin is also there. And he's kind of put himself defensively for Florin, a very small, stout man. He's doing a very well at extending his presence to encompass around your grandfather and your brother. And when you glance around, it's because you can see around them several of these small, dimly glowing red eyes that stand out because of how dark it is. Rorkin's going to call out to you. Roz, can't say I'm glad to see you, but it's good that you're here. I need you to take your grandfather and your little brother, and you need to run. Do you understand me?
Where's my sister?
She refused to come out of her room earlier. You have to go convince her to come out, I guess.
Okay. Okay. Well, I guess Roz knows where to go.
Yeah, so, temporarily, because Braun was seeming a little apprehensive about leaving anyway, he is going to, like, kind of step up back to the front of the house when he sees you approaching, as if he's going to go back in with you to try to coax your sister out. Because, you as well as everyone else understand that, she's a little stubborn.
At least as stubborn as me.
Just to say, please disregard the enormous token. I did drag the wrong token out. So just, let's pretend like she's not here. In that regard, as you are here and observing, and rightly concerned, Rorkin is immediately going to run south. And like a man possessed, a man that is 4 feet tall, run about 10 feet or so, and take a leap that sends him flying 20. And you're going to see him land in some of the tall shrubbery to the south that you were poking around in earlier. And you're just going to hear cracking of metal and like whining bends of something that is not supposed to bend in a particular way, and lots of angry, halfling grunting. As you just hear fist, poof, 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 crack, crack.
Feel sorry for the little bastards.
Mm-hmm. Saying that now. Titan!
Titan's gonna head upstairs.
Yep.
Meet up with Lotus.
Yep.
And what have you packed so far? What do we need to do?
I was not sure if we were leaving or not, but I have a small amount of essential goods already prepared. I have also gathered some, if not all, of your precious research that is here in the house.
He gives her a hug. I don't know. This one seems different. Seems real bad. We might have to evacuate. He's looking out the windows. And Rorkin went off to give a present to...
Braun.
Thank you. Braun. If any luck, he's got Roswin and her family covered. Hate to admit it, but he's a better help to her than I am right now. He's just watching the other village, the houses and everything. Titan's ready to act if he needs to defend people.
Mm-hmm.
But he's trying to not complicate things for Fazil by being an idiot and running around.
Yeah. Titan, now that you're upstairs, make a perception check for me. See what you can see from the second story.
Titan is a little too flustered right now with that 3.
Yeah, and a little drunk.
And a little bit drunk still.
Sobering up, but not completely sober. It's dark. There is no light here in Greenwood currently, other than the occasional home that hasn't drawn a curtain completely closed, and you can see that there's a little bit of firelight or a torch that's been illuminated somewhere. But alarmingly, and it was very easy to make note of before, is that there is very few torches that have been lit up on the walls by the militia, which is part of the procedure for when something like this happens. If lights, for some odd reason, go out, light a torch. There are very few torches currently lit.
Then Titan's gonna grab... Well, he's gonna start grabbing things too. A lantern being chief among them so that he can start seeing.
Okay. Just take a moment, make a little, itinerary for yourself of a little list of things you want to grab. So that way you can keep track of your inventory appropriately, because, when you're fleeing a village, you don't always have everything that you might start with as a character,
No, yeah, of course. Thankfully, Titan doesn't need too much equipment for his character start. Just important stuff to him.
Mm-hmm. So, begin your gathering.
Okay.
Back at the Albrecht house, you've managed to gather all of the siblings into the storage room. Isabel and Melody and Lilith, you're all there. You're hunkered down. Despite nothing immediately happening, enough of the kids can pick up on the situation that something is wrong. And you can start to see, at first, while they were just kind of able to, keep themselves mildly amused sitting on the couch, waiting. It's not the first time something has happened for some of these kids, but it is the first time for, like, Zine. But now you can start to see that a little bit of uncertainty is beginning to creep in. And before, where they were just kind of talking amongst themselves, now they're just getting a little eerily quiet. You can start to feel the pressure building of the situation, the uncertainty as to what's going to happen. As you've gathered, you're getting all of your various belongings in order. Likewise, Melody, because then you had a moment to grab stuff out of your bedroom. Please make note whatever it is you did grab for your future reference.
Mm-hmm.
And as you guys are organizing, getting as comfortable as you can, it isn't long before you hear Asmith from upstairs just rip out a shout. And it isn't anything that is composed. It is literally just, run! And you hear another huge crack of thunder. And this time it shakes the general goods store.
I'd say on our way through the storeroom and out the door that we'd probably also pack like a bag of food. There's stuff in it. We're in a store.
Yeah,
So
of
we're grabbing
course.
some things.
Yeah, that's easy enough to do. There is conveniently a hand cart here that you could load up with all kinds of essential goods.
I think that might slow us down.
Fair enough. Then you grab a couple bags of potato chips and you run.
I think as they hear the shout, Lilith's going to look towards the children specifically and just say, a lot calmer than you'd kind of expect her to be in this situation. It's dark out. You're going to follow right behind me. I can see. I will lead us. And then she is going to open the door.
Make a persuasion check. I want to see what kind of confidence you're projecting.
Pretty good. 17 plus 0 is 17.
Wow, that's pretty good. Yeah. All of the kids respond well. You see Adi's mother Isabel give you a nod. Basically just saying, good plan, we'll follow you. You even see Zine, the youngest. He's clutching his sword in front of him now with both hands. Like he's ready to fight in case a monster pops up. So if you both would like to move, assume the Albrecht family unit is sort of moving between the two of you.
This is a small enough ledge that everyone can easily get over it.
It is a 5-foot drop.
So we could drop and then like give the kid
Yep.
a hand.
Yep, easy.
I think we do that. Slo's just going to say that probably not a good idea to go to the town center right now. Considering we just heard a cannon shot from inside this house, it means they've breached the front gate. She doesn't say that part out loud.
You sure?
We can't go over this. There's a wall.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think we have to.
Oh,
either run
yeah,
down or
sorry.
get the
There's
DM to drop us.
yeah, no, there's an invisible wall. My bad. I was trying to make everything really authentic, okay?
I see little buggers.
Do you now?
Uh-oh. Yeah, I see at least 3 of them.
That could be a problem, wouldn't it?
And Nomen don't have low light, right? Or is it dark right now?
So, 2 things. The low light rules being reverted back to dark vision. Again, we'll handle that collaboratively in the future. Due to the fact that Foundry just handles everything better. 2, this was also something I never got around to with you, which is when you do half-breed races, you basically do a little pick and choose system with points, and you get to pick your features. So basically the question is, you can answer right now, Melody, does your family genetically pass along gnomish dark vision?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I imagine because they work on very small, fine things, they'd have good vision. I don't know if that translates into...
Are they always working under bright lights when doing so?
I mean, Asmith works with a lamp, so I imagine relatively so.
I mean, I think if you're trying to be 100% authentic to your character's background, maybe dark vision is not in this particular family line.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. It's like they might have a low light, but I don't think they'd have dark.
Yeah, so in which case, no, it is quite dark for you and your family.
Excellent.
Which is why it is invaluable that you have Lilith here.
with a single movement, we get about there.
Yep.
And I assume that this turn's action is going to essentially be getting all the kids off the ledge.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It is a collaborative effort, since half of them can do it on their own. The other half need help. Because, like, Tiffany and Azel are fine. They can do it. They can do it themselves. But like Delia and Drant and Zine need a little bit of help. So, like I said, collaboratively, yeah, it'll take you and Isabel to get the other three down.
I think that's us for now, then. If we're doing one turn at a time.
Yes. Because we are going back to Roz.
Well, I sure hope Rorken can handle this, because I can't.
Again, lots of twisting metal sounds, lots of angry shouting.
That's my dash.
Damn house, why does it have to be so spacious?
I wanted a big house.
And now it kills you.
It kills me. What am I dead?
What? Not yet. I mean,
It's been a mimic this entire time. The entire time's a mimic.
the ultimate defense.
That's 2 dashes. If I've got time, then it's banging on the door. Run, we got to go.
You hear footsteps stomp over to the door and turn the lock.
It's just not the time to be stubborn. People are dying.
Make a persuasion check.
Yeah. 4.
Yeah, you do not get a response.
You bitch.
All right, well, that was fun for Roz. Titan.
Titan, has Corona gone? Was I not paying attention? Doesn't matter. The Titan's going to his secret room there to pack up what he can of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's going back up to be with Lotus. And to watch what's going on.
Okay. Fair.
Just be on alert.
Yeah.
Assess when or if they need to run.
Okay. Yeah, so this round you'll spend your time gathering all your belongings that Titan wants in specific. As mentioned, make a list of things so you know what you have.
Okay.
Corona, if I skipped you, I'm sorry. If I did skip you, take 2 turns.
I think so, maybe, yeah. Because I've been sitting here for a while, but I missed it too, so no, it's kind of on me as well. Okay, well, this one's gonna be pretty simple. I suppose I'll move here because I think something happened between the two. There was something that shook the general store, right?
Yep.
Is that something that might have been visible to people from the outside, or?
There was a flash of light in the distance.
Okay.
It was blue in color.
Okay.
Yeah.
Northern Gate.
Yeah, it didn't shake you, but you saw and you heard it.
Okay. Then that's one turn. Second turn. Wow, we're really gonna have to just dash. I assume that I'm approaching the southern gate here.
So this is Fazil's home.
Oh.
The southern gate is here.
Oh, okay.
It's more like a side gate to someone's backyard.
Okay. Then, that's great. That's actually perfect because she didn't want to just open the gates to whatever was going to come here. So, okay, perfect. Yep. That's two turns, 2 dashes.
Okay. As previously mentioned, you do note a significant lack of torchlight Real bad news.
Would there be torches like in the outposts here?
There is one torch here that was clearly lit by somebody and left in the sconce, but there is no longer a person here. Just make me a perception check since you're there.
Quick one. 14.
Yeah, pretty good since you're in a rush. There are signs that there was a fight here. And there is on the top of the stairs, right where the stairs meet the platform, there's this big black scorch mark.
Okay, noted. She's just gonna keep on rushing.
Okay. At the top of the non-official initiative, outside the walls, marches a mechanical menace that no one in this village has heard of or seen before. At some point, something that only Asmith saw himself, Bryn Rasa bodily threw herself over the gate and erected a enormous wall of fire that wraps around the front of the village to try to protect it. All around the village, militiamen on the walls, people retreating to their homes, have been attacked by these small mechanical automatons. Some successfully fended them off. Others not as fortunate. It seems as if right now it could be manageable. But if someone were to get a good look over the walls, they would know that you've only been dealing with the gentle breakers of a tsunami yet to crash. And we will see how you all handle what will be the conclusion of Welcome to Greenwood next week. Because we're at time.
Are we?
Yes, and I'm trying to be responsible about keeping on time. Because we started at 6, and I said it's supposed to be 3-hour sessions. So I'm trying to stick to it because I like 3-hour sessions. I think they're a little bit better than 4-hour sessions, because if you bleed into 4, it's okay. But if you bleed from 4 to 5, it's not as good. And personally, as much as I am enjoying myself, and I will probably enjoy myself when this little segment of our campaign prologue is done, because there's so much to do here, I'm so tired. I need the rest. You have setting this up in the last 2 weeks has been a fun and interesting challenge, but wow, did it really drag me through the mud. So I think
Awesome so far.
I think we're done here.
Agreed.
Sorry about the somewhat janky initiative.
Oh no, it's all good. It worked out surprisingly well, honestly.
Yeah, well, it's one of those. I knew everyone was going to kind of end up splitting up for their own, their own goals. Everyone has personal vested interests in things they want to do. So I anticipated this. It's mostly just how I juggle passing it between each person. Because now the trick is, how are things going to finish? My little outro to all of you there is basically telling you that you have a clock that is ticking, which you all kind of knew was there, but now you've officially been told you have a clock that where once the walls are breached, staying in the village is probably tantamount to suicide. However, right now you could do some questionable, air quotes, reckless heroism, for instance, if you want to go help other people versus just your family. So next week is where we're going to start seeing a bit more of that, and where probably proper initiative is going to come into play. Maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, so that is the end of Reclamation Session 1. Thank you all for being here today and playing with me. Thank you for being patient and waiting for all this time and still deciding to want to play. You have no idea. Personally, I had a very bad funk I fell into for like a solid 3 months where I actually don't remember those 3 months. Like, it was one day and my lucidity vanished. And I'm not exaggerating when I'm saying those 3 months of time, I don't know what happened. But it wasn't like a good thing. Like, mental health took a dip. And it is much better now, and everything is great, which is why this campaign is happening now. And I legitimately worried when I came out of that fog and I realized all the stuff I had to do. I was too afraid to actually do check-ins with everybody because I was so terrified someone was going to say, oh no, I can't do it anymore. And I would rather have to wait up until the end and face the consequences of it than actually face it then. So genuinely, yeah, thank you all for staying and deciding to play with me still, even though it probably took a little longer than it should have.
You can't shake us off that easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm glad you all are here for the ride. And it's going to be a long one. And I promise to give you, out of all of my campaigns I've run so far, the best yet. And I realize I am setting myself up, but I have to set a bar for myself, given that I think my other campaigns so far have been pretty great. So I'm looking forward to it. And all of you, my very special players, give me plenty of incentive to want to do this and do well. So again, thank you.
So excited.
Oh, very, very excited. I'm less scared now. Weirdly enough.
Always the first session.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah, you just got to get over the first hump in the hill, right? Because I really cannot express how hard it was when that last 90 minutes leading up to the start was getting here. Like, my anxiety, I just felt it slowly ebbing higher, and I'm like, oh, what am I gonna? How am I gonna do this? So much. I did it. Yeah, we're here. We're at the end of it, and no one's running away. They're actually listening to me babble on, which is, I'm gonna get past that right now real quick because I want to thank. Because contrary to sometimes what I forget, hey, I'm streaming this, and there are people that are watching us, which I think is really neat. And I'm glad for those of you that were able to join us tonight and partake in the start of this journey. And it is only going to get better from here with every successive episode because I strive to improve and put fun first for everyone watching, but more importantly for the players. You guys watching get second place in that regard. But again, I really appreciate it. It's a little extra special to have people sharing the stories that I take so much pride and joy and put my love into to fulfill. And if you have criticisms for the stream or the overlay or the way I talk or my face, you can tell me about that and I'll listen. I might not take it to heart, but I will listen. Otherwise, just thanks for coming along for the ride. I'll be streaming a lot more in the future because I was kind of just using this as the excuse to kick everything back off. So I hope you come back and join us again and come watch me hang out, play games, and talk to people, and play more tabletop RPGs, and learn how to make maps and use things in Foundry and all those sorts of complicated things. So if you find any value in that, show back up. Otherwise, until I know what my streaming schedule looks like, tune in with us next week on Wednesday. And contrary to what the overlay says, because we changed the start time yesterday, every Wednesday, 6 p.m. PST. Come join us for session 2 as we participate in the escape from Greenwood. Until then, hopefully, like what the player characters will be doing next week, and what you should do in your everyday life when you get a chance to, make good choices. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Chat.